Well, howdy, everyone. Welcome to the very first ever
Thursday.
Thursday evening live stream with Shower Door Professionals. Man, we got the regular crew here. I never had any doubt that you guys would show up. I did hear back from Mike. Mike said he had another meeting, a homeowner association meeting or something like that. So he couldn't make it tonight, but I'm sure that that's just, once every month or quarter or something like that. I'm sure we'll be seeing him around, but curious to see if we'll see any of anyone who hasn't been on in a while. Now that we've gone to Thursdays, who knows? Maybe some new people will show up.
Yeah.
We'll have some fresh blood. But either way, I'm here, you're here, we're here. Might as well talk about shower doors and stuff. I don't know if anybody's got something they're itching to talk about.
Well, I got one. I mean,
Okay,
today,
great. Let's hear it.
well, I don't know if you guys seen the post today. Somebody was playing about a camera door, how they were, how it was dragging, or what they could do to keep it from that, or what they do with the sweep on the bottom, if
I
it
did see that post.
it curls or it flattens out. I don't know. But this is my take on it. I mean, I always take an extra eighth inch, 3/16, depending you know what the slope is. If it's a deep slope, I always take off an extra eighth inch off beneath the door. And that's the great thing about having a shower program. You're able to do that. Make your own cut sheets, your own deductions, and I don't have problems with all when I do the Cameridge or the Napa. You
Mhm.
know, that guy was playing like LeBron James. It was getting on my nerves.
Yeah, dude, I always did the exact same thing. I think the default is 3/8, and 3/8 is just not enough.
No.
You need at least a half an inch. And the thing is, if you're going to use those little um, bottom drip edge things,
Yeah,
which I think are awesome,
they
that was
are.
a great addition when they added those things
Mhm.
because you could even let's say you took 3/4 off. You could put those sweeps on and add a little block in there or something and shim them down, and get plenty of purchase on that guide. So, I mean, you almost can't take too much off. There's a little bit of an adjustment, in the little brackets where you can kind of, cheat
Go
it
up.
up a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah.
But yeah, you're crazy to go with just 3/8.
Yeah, no, I always go about half inch. My half inch is probably my max. If I have to go an extra 16, I'll do it. But those sweeps in there are adjustable. So, and if you need to go a little bit higher, you just throw a block inside the sweep and just bring it down a little bit, and you're golden, man. It's little tricks.
Exactly. Yeah,
You know,
because
you know, and I learned about the cameras from your video, Chris, too. Because I was doing my first one, I was watching it and seeing like, oh, this is pretty easy. And then as time went on, I just learned other techniques myself, and you know,
that's cool. I'm glad you
yeah,
found that useful.
yes, yeah, I did.
That's awesome. It's a great enclosure. I mean, anytime somebody orders that Phantom, Phantom is like the same thing, only just a little better, in my opinion, than the stainless steel header type. Just a great product. Really easy to install, fast, especially if you're, by yourself. I mean, I know a lot of guys don't send anybody out alone. They always send people out in pairs, which I think is a good policy.
Yeah.
But there are times when you just kind of get stuck alone doing something, and that's the type of enclosure that you can definitely do with one guy if you need to. And it's fast, it's a moneymaker.
Oh yeah, yeah. I get pretty good money for those. Yeah,
Feel like
and they're
Adrian,
not. They're
on a
nice.
Wednesday night when he gets an emergency call and has to leave the live stream because the cash register is going crazy.
No, I'm good. I won't do that. No, no,
No,
not for that.
nobody here blames you for that, but it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a call the other day from Sierra Lawrence,
Ooh.
sales rep.
Oh. They have
and
sales reps?
a sales rep,
I wish they'd call me, but yeah.
and the branch manager from Union City
Okay.
showed up.
All right. All right.
Uh,
What do you have to say?
well, they have a new hinge out now that'll carry 140 pounds, and it's the same cutout as the Vienna.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it has a new gasket in it too. It's the gasket that like they use in the patch fittings.
Hey,
Okay.
they said they weren't telling anybody about that. They told you too?
He had a
Well,
sample
yeah,
of
now
it.
we're blabbing it to the whole world.
No,
Yeah, apparently
they,
they
they
are.
they had a sample of it.
Yeah, they made it sound nice and special that we were not they're like this is the first person to see it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they said the
You thought you felt special, huh?
yeah.
I
So
don't
then
ever I don't ever feel special unless
so
Wow.
then
something go.
I'm
the
trying to.
Cavoli barn slider where they had those screw-on things that cover the Allen wrenches. They're going to make accessories where you can take them off and put a towel hook on there too.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, and then I asked them about shipping out of Union City. I said, yeah, I noticed everything's starting to come out of Union City now. Because yeah, that's the first thing I did when I took over the branch up there was switched everything to be shipped out of Union City and to bring up their stock on hand. He brought UPS back in there, so everything's coming out of Union City now.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
That is nice. They're close by to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I order from Oldcastle. It just comes from them directly, so I don't have
Oh
to
yeah,
worry.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And they,
It comes overnight to me, so
yeah, they Oldcastle. When I order from them, they go like they send their guy once a day, like in the evening or the afternoon,
yeah,
to
yeah,
pick up the orders, and then yeah, I get
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Like
They said but
they're
the
pretty.
guy's name's Christian. He goes, yeah, I'm building up the inventory up there because they let it go down because they're shipping a lot of stuff out of LA
Hmm.
to everybody.
But yeah, Union City was pretty good. I liked them because we got stuff pretty quick from them. I mean, like next
Yeah,
day,
yeah, yeah.
24 hours, we got something. Like okay,
Oh yeah,
pretty
no.
quick,
I ordered stuff yesterday and I got it today.
nice.
Yeah. Those guys have gone through a lot of changes, haven't they, over the years in Union
Yeah,
City? I mean, there was a time I remember, like you're talking about 10 years ago, when, man, they had everything and it was just, they were super on it and
yeah.
it was great. And then they moved
Uh,
to the system where, like you say, they were shipping everything from LA.
LA, yeah,
So then it was slower, you're paying more freight and all that. And
uh-huh.
that kind of sucked. But it sounds like they're coming back kind of to the full
Yeah. They're
circle, huh?
full circle. It's coming back.
Good, man. I'm glad to hear that.
And
You know,
sales reps, you
I
know.
want all these guys to succeed. I want everybody to succeed,
Yeah,
right? It's just good for everyone when everyone
yeah,
does a
yeah.
good.
He said this hinge isn't in the system yet. So I says, well, you could have built it in last weekend when we raised all the prices, you know. We got a good joke out of that.
Yeah, that's one kind of a bummer about like Showers Online. So I used that program for many years and things just didn't get added in there um very quickly.
Yeah,
And I mean, sometimes there'd be like years would go by when new hardware still wasn't in. And
yeah,
it's like, well, come on, man, killing me here. But
Yeah, it was just today or yesterday. Smart Glazer just updated the hardware that like the last bit of hardware that CRL released, which is like those zero hinges and
okay.
some other stuff.
Hmm.
And we have been trying to sell those like up to like 6 months ago, but we had no templates or deductions for those in the software. So they
Right.
weren't available on Showers Online or Smart Glazer or any of that
Right.
stuff. Yeah, they're really lagging on getting that stuff digitized.
And one other thing, like with Showers Online, and back when they started making the like CAR07s. And you could, pivot a door off of a fixed panel.
Yeah.
And there was a way to, you could put it at the bottom and the top. And to me, that seemed like such a brilliant idea because if you put it on the bottom, you wouldn't need a clamp
Right.
at the bottom corner for the fixed panel. You just run a screw right through that hinge plate thing, and it would match, it would look great, and they never set up Showers Online ever to do that.
Well, yeah.
And I started asking them like a month after it came out. I was like, oh, well, how come I can't? Oh, yeah, we haven't added that yet. And I don't use Showers Online anymore. I use the FHC program now. I haven't checked to see if that'll do it. I wonder if it will. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to check it. But I don't know if they ever did add that feature, and I just never bothered. I know other shops do that, and it's a good idea. But once you're used to using Showers Online to do your layout, you don't want to go to like paper and pencil and
Yeah.
figure out, some other thing. So it's just I skipped it, and I would use it and just use regular, O1 or whatever for the bottom, and it worked fine. But I like that idea of having, top and bottom. And it's
I use
an
it all the
expensive
time.
piece of hardware too. They sell twice as many of them.
No, I do that all the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you draw everything up by hand, right? Anyway,
Yeah, and I modify the bottom cutout to drop the glass closer down
right? Yeah, because you'd have to.
because it's like 7/16, and I'll raise the cutout and I'll put a little notch in the glass so it'll clear the bottom plate and it looks fine.
Right. It would be kind of like a flush cut for the top.
Well,
Only you need a little bit more of a you need that clearance for where it actually sweeps at the bottom. So it's not
yeah,
exactly the same. It's some kind of a hybrid between the two, and I guess that's why CRL never wanted to bother to
no, I always
put it in there,
always do a flush mount on the top
right?
and uh, and modify the bottom and it works great.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a faster install
Yeah.
because yeah, I mean it's just like one hole. I mean, and it looks more symmetrical. So yeah.
I hate to tell you, but the smart glazer, like the shower builder, which is the
Yeah,
same builder they use for CRL, they built it.
right.
Over the last 6 weeks, it's just been reverting all sorts of errors.
Oh
Like,
no.
oh yeah, and it's a lag indicator too, because you don't get your glass right away. So you don't figure it out till 2 or 3 weeks till like you get your
Oh
glass and start
no.
installing, right? So you've got this backlog of all these panels that are wrong. So when we were importing drawings, rakes were backwards. It was taking the whole shower enclosure and reversing it or flipping it upside down. So we started dealing with technical support. Finally got an answer from them today, and I'll just say I wasn't really happy with their solution to it. It was just more work on our end. Basically, we have to when we imported before, it was literally just import, check this, and you were good to go. Now there's probably like 6 or 7 steps. It's probably 20 minutes worth of work for us to import a shower. I could literally draw it by hand quicker now. So
Wow.
um, after this, and then some other issues with it. Not that I want to get on my soapbox, but yeah, we're actively looking for new software now.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I mean, I like that the FHC program is like really a little bit easier to set up initially and a little bit more intuitive, I think, than Showers Online. I mean, I use Showers Online for like over a decade at
Yeah.
least, maybe
I
two.
like it.
I liked it, but it was like clunky and there was always like, like, yeah, these little peeves. And to be using it all day, every day, and still be having problems after like 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's perfect, right? I'm not ragging on those guys or anything, but I guess, everybody has their priorities, right? And I guess, I'm sure Showers Online isn't a big moneymaker or whatever. FHC had the advantage of coming in later, right? And re-engineering something that had already been around for a long time. So
Of course.
building it, right, from scratch to do a lot of these things that were already, you know, problems, known issues, let's say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd recommend checking it out. It's really I think it was more affordable to um than CRL's product. But
Yeah.
CRL products, it came the pricing came down.
did
They
they?
don't have Citrix anymore. They got rid of that. Now everything's
Right. That was a good move.
so everything is web based, and I think it's $100 for like 4 seats a month.
Oh, that's not bad.
No,
Another thing about Showers Online that FHC doesn't have is you can use it on a mobile device.
yeah, and I got that too. It's pretty.
Yeah,
It works
FHC
pretty good.
can't. You have to be on a computer.
Yeah.
So, if I'm using that, I have to go out and draw it by hand on site and then come back to my desk and model it up.
And the good thing about too with the Showers Online, even if you got the free app, Spark Glazer that you get, you could actually send whatever you're doing on that to your Showers Online, and it'll pick
Yeah.
it up, and you go back and you can edit it later on.
Right.
You can't put on that you can't put the hardware or whatever, but at least you're not double entering anything like that. So
You can get your outages and actual sizes.
yeah, and then because sometimes Showers Online is sometimes too much work. Like the free one from Smart Glazer is a little easier, it's quicker, but like I said, if you got angles and stuff like that, it's kind of sucks, But it's easy for the quick, inlines,
Mhm.
you know, returns and stuff like that, but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Quick in
but
and out, bam.
yeah, yeah. We use for us, we use Main Street. I don't know if you guys know who that is as our POS system. So they started as an auto glass company. When they first opened up, but when we did auto glass, so then they sort of innovated a little bit for flat glass too. So we've been with them for 30 years. And so, and then of course I got Showers Online. It's kind of a pain in the butt to, you know, work on both, but we make it happen. But I do like Showers Online. You could do, I mean, like all the updated, like for the zero hinges. Uh, yeah, they updated like the last time they had an update was like a month ago, and they added that. That was pretty good, but I haven't sold one yet. But yeah, but yeah, they added it. And it doesn't seem like no problems at all on my end with Showers Online.
Good.
I
Yeah.
mean, and what I like about Showers Online, like I said, I order from Old Castle, so I can order all my stuff through that program and just send orders to them, and they'll get it. The only thing I gotta do is send them an email. Hey, I sent you an order. Check it out, and then they'll pull it, and that's it. It's you know makes my
It's
job
there.
easy.
It's fab ready. It's all ready to
It's
go.
fab ready to go because they have everything in there, and so it makes it easy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I did like that too about Showers Online and I was primarily getting all my stuff from Old Castle too.
yeah,
So those guys were great. And then, get the hardware and the glass from them, like you were saying, and even if you had like oversized materials and stuff like that,
yeah,
they'd pick it up and drop it off, like no shipping, and the pricing was like amazing. I
yeah,
think the pricing I was getting was lower than CRL's like lowest price. I mean,
yep,
somehow I don't know how they did that, but
yeah,
I love those guys. Those guys really took good care of me. Like
yeah.
yeah, they really
And
did.
now they're getting strict. Now
Are
they're
they?
oh
They got
yeah,
took over again, right?
mistakes now. They want the glass back now.
Oh wow. Well, good because I hated throwing away all their bad
Yeah.
glass.
Hey, it's fun though. I have a big dumpster.
Yeah,
I just
it all depends.
see
Yeah.
it, see an
Glass half
explosion.
full, glass half empty.
And then we got a big old dump trailer. I just throw it back there. If I get a little mad, I just throw rocks at it. Just imagine, imagine a customer or one of my employees. Bah,
I saw this thing on Instagram. It was pretty cool. It's like this glass breaking tool. Did you see this? It was like a big long thing with like a tuning fork on the end,
Really?
Well,
and they'd hit it to make it vibrate, and when they touched tempered glass, it would just boom explode. Dude, I'll find it and share it with you guys. It was pretty cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was a neat looking kind of a medieval looking
You're gonna
device.
have to do some. You're gonna have to do some background checks on some of these guys. Make sure they're not wanted for breaking and entering.
I think they might be. What else? Any thoughts, Robert, on all this software stuff?
Mhm. I have 101 all the time.
No, man. Are you familiar with like piecing together different softwares to try to make something work?
That's my world,
That's what you do every day, huh?
That's kind of, yeah. It started at one company and just trying to help them do the best I could. And when I learned I had 37 apps on my computer and my phone just to help them with everything I could think of. Like we're running ads, we're doing this, we're doing social, we need to post stuff, we need tracking, we got Google Voice, what are we doing? What are the numbers? Nobody knows. Somebody should. I guess I'll do it. And that kind of 37 hats later, I realized I asked for it. But in the end, I pieced together so many apps, learned which ones work better. And then as I start working with multiple locations across the US, I see everyone has their story. Like Adrian, and we've been using Main Street for 30 years. We're sold. We need to find something that fills the gaps before and after the process. Great. Let's see your systems. Let's see what integrates and talks to each other. And let's try to eliminate doing the same thing 2 or 3 times or 5 times over in your process wherever we can. Some people weren't sold on their apps. They're like, I'm coming in and I'm revamping everything and no one can stop me. And it's like, okay, great. That's a different approach versus the blended one is the one I like the most. What are you using? What are you working? What do people like? Let's just fill in the gaps. And little by little, if the rest of the pieces of our system make sense to replace what you're using, the gaps that have been filled, we just kind of slowly fill that in. That's the easiest way I found as everyone tries to test new stuff is they usually don't want to try a new idea because it's going to disrupt so much of their system. But disruption is the name of the game right now.
Yeah.
You should at least test it in small pockets. I know people like in North Carolina, some people that used to show up on the call all the time had the ability to create a sub pocket. Maybe they couldn't take over the whole company as a second, third generation person, and they couldn't shift the whole company to stop servicing the 5 products and only focus on the highest margin one, the custom glass one. But he could create his own sub department, create his own phone numbers, his own marketing, his own account, run it all to that name, even create a DBA. And eventually he created enough of a streamline through a different department and proved this model works and can stand alone or be a part of. And they ended up actually leaving it as a separate entity. So there was a strong SEO driver, business name, and everything, but it was the same location, same place. They just didn't want to disrupt too much of their current system with a new idea. But I love that they still figured out how. That's what I suggest to everyone. Whatever you're thinking, don't not do it because it's going to disrupt. Everything's coming to disrupt you either way in this industry. So might as well be the ones that try to do it yourself. Try to take yourself out. That whole theory. Work to be the best and practice like it's the championship. And when you're there, you're just it's just another day. And that's kind of what I would recommend in the app world. Keep improving because man, people are coming for you right now.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Quick question for you, Rob. You may know this better than us. Like, so you know how we're kind of not necessarily ragging too bad on them for lagging on getting these things into the Glazer programs. What goes into getting something like that into one of these programs, and why would it possibly take so long, other than just not doing it?
A number of things. I can't speak on any one of those, but there's a number of things and the reason why I build and work with people that build custom CRMs and stick to that. Just like we suggest people that can go do their own shower at Home Depot, call us if they want the best custom shower and all the pieces that go with it. Is the same way I suggest that people use these AI agents, these other tools that are let's see what's the best way to approach because I'm working on a lot of pieces but don't want to down talk anyone. I'm building custom CRMs, custom platforms, everything AI related. But when you build any app, any of y'all that might have taken it on or know friends that take it on, however they might have built it might have been in a certain language, a certain code. And when you go and build something a certain way, and then you want to make a change, if you didn't build it in modules where you can kind of take that out, change that,
Mhm.
and it not affect the rest, then it's easy. But sometimes you created it inside of a stack that if you were to go make that change, you have to go undo a lot of code. And people are live and active on this app. So in order to make these changes, you have to pick the times when they're not on it. Because when you push that update, now they're going to experience friction. They're going to experience things not working. And the more users you have at the higher volume, the more changes don't sound good to you. It could disrupt your whole ecosystem and make 100 support tickets instantly if you didn't build it right. If you didn't build it in a way that made that certain element changeable. Because to us, you're like, why can't you just add a column there? Can't you just add 4 more fields? Why can't I just put a map embed? You embedded all this other stuff. Like, you've already done what I'm thinking. I just want one more.
Mm-hmm.
And if they didn't build it in a way that's modular, then they can't just go add one more. They have to like rip up so much, and they have to charge you the hours it's going to take in code to undo that, not break it, test it on the side server, and then push it live to the rest of the people. And if there's enough demand, then it makes sense because they'll lose customers if they don't do it. But if there's not enough noise in the community, they won't shift to fix that issue because if it ain't broke, don't fix it in their model. And no overhead without having to make the changes, and it's not their business, the one running the app, which is the gift you get when you're working with people who are actually in the industry. They're going to make the changes in the app because they're running their business and they're going to do the best of the best ways they know how to do it to change that. Depending on which corporation this is or whichever company this is building the app, they might not have no interest in changing or modifying certain things and dealing with that overhead. They'll just scale with the people that don't care for those changes and just leave you in the dust. And that's why we always err towards custom. I want to work with the platform that's open. If I want to have an idea, if 9 different people have 9 different ideas, I want to implement in the same CRM or same database, those 9 variations. And now each one can have their own custom experience built in the same place, but it's all like, it's not forced. Like some of these apps, in order to scale and make it cheap to you, it's forced. These are the ways you get it. Here you go. How many seats you want, how many tokens you want, or how many of our features you want, but it's locked in. And that's like the difference. And I can't speak on which one of those, but depending how they build it, the code, sometimes they're serious and they're like, man, that's a huge project. And to us, it's like a column.
Wow, that's actually some great insight, Rob. I'm glad you shared that because a little knowledge is a dangerous thing, right? And that's like what I have. I'm like dangerous. And it's because I know a little bit about technology. I know a little bit about just a tiny bit, about how codes work and stuff like that. But what you just explained there, I didn't know, and I'd never even really thought about because I'm that guy who's like, oh man, you did all this. Why can't you just add that? How hard would it be just to add that in? And I can see what you mean. If it's all built kind of on top of each other, and you have to start taking things apart and unstacking and stacking to get down into the code where that change needs to happen, it's it's Herculean task sometimes to do just a small change. And it's because they didn't have the foresight to build it that way, or it was built back before that was even an option. And the idea of like completely rebuilding something from scratch. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by glassgadget.com. Showcase Innovations creates tools that help shower door installers be more efficient and save time. Check out glassgadget.com for more information.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
and
so
which
that's why sometimes
would
the
be,
cost to you it
yeah,
is a full bill, right? Sometimes you're like, what? How much? They're like, well, we're going to charge you what the workload our developer guy said it's going to charge. I experienced the same thing with our automations when we did it in a build it as we fly place. form, someone fills out a form, if they're a homeowner, they get a certain response sequence. If they're a homeowner that's ready now, they get another response sequence. Every automation was set up to do that. If they're a business owner, great. They get this set. And if they get moved to each column, there's a different way they get communicated with, depending if they're a repeat customer or a new builder. If they get a review, if they get notifications for things they don't care about because they're a different kind of customer. But when we had a new idea, a great idea, 2 years in, like, hey, let's add product and zip code because we're getting so many quotes. Our guys are spending time and then we're realizing they're out of our service area. How can we eliminate that at the get-go? Because our targeting didn't work. All these things we tried to do to control that didn't work. People are still falling in. We're still quoting, spending time back and forth, only to realize great customer, ready to buy, 100 miles away. Doesn't matter. So what zip code became a form, and so did product. And so since I added those three, I had already built like 17 singular workflows that were all referencing, hey, what customer type did they pick, builder or customer? When we added realtor to the customer type and homeowner with a builder, like the different variations of customers, the pockets that were coming in that were like, man, this is a whole different way we need to communicate with them. Let's identify them in the beginning, create their own sequence and way that SOP of how you respond to them based on whatever they say or do at each stage so we can move them along in our standard process. But when that change happened, I had to go back, change 17 workflows. And if I didn't finish at night when I started the next day, everyone across 5, 6 locations was going to not see the same workflows flowing. Someone filled out a form for the ads we're running, like 15 people. They didn't get routed right. What's going on? I had to go change each and every workflow to now catch the 5, 6 new things we said and create a variation 17 times 5 because we created 7. So now 57, 72. I got stuck somewhere along the way. Rabbit hole did something else. The next day, calls come in. What's going on? This flows don't seem right. Something's off. And I realized like, oh, I didn't complete this. This is a small 5 location problem. And you can picture how big some of these software companies or some of these people that build these apps, like how big these workloads are that you're asking them to do sometimes, depending how they built it. And now you can build it in modular ways that's a lot easier so that going forward, if someone wants to change anything, you can kind of move it in and out. But if you didn't originally build it in the new way, which you couldn't have, like the technology didn't exist, so you couldn't build it that way. What are they doing next is the focus. I'm sure everyone's on top of something. I'm doing my own thing. So as always, I don't have to rely too much on anything else. I just have my own way of doing things with the knowledge I have and the open source things I like. That way, no one can take it from me. That's kind of how I suggest everyone build everything. Use whatever service you need, but always look to how can we build and internalize this so we own it.
Right. And the average person hates change. And you run into this, we all run into this. Some of us are probably like this. The average person doesn't want change. It's like, I already know how to do this. I don't want, I don't want some new thing. So there is inertia there for developers not to change things. Because probably if they were to take a poll, 90% of their user would come back and say, don't change anything. But the 10% of their users that are power users who are really getting the most out of whatever program they've made are the ones who want it to change, or they want it to develop, they want it to improve. And I think people really expect that from software now, any kind of a service. They're expecting it to be better in 6 months. So not just to deliver what you're delivering to me today, but I want there to be updates. I want there to be improvements. I want you to tell me what you're working on, how you're making the system better. And again, it's that kind of Pareto principle where 20% of the people who are doing 80% of the work are the ones who want things to improve. And the 80% that are doing 20% of the work don't really want anything to change because they're comfortable and they want to stay in that zone. and it's not that easy to make changes. So yeah, it has to be really an immediate benefit to making that change for anybody to move on it. Rob, one of your greatest skills I've noticed after working with you for a number of years is your ability to really integrate things without creating more input, more redundancy. And I think, if there's a specialty that you really have, I mean, you're great at what you do. I mean, you know so much about so many things. But I think that's really where you've got it dialed. Because, I don't mind. I mean, I love new stuff, right? I mean, I love new stuff. I love change. I'm one of those people that's like, oh yeah, yeah, change it, which is like wacky. But one thing I cannot stand is redundancy. I mean, a little bit, I understand, there's a need for redundancy, right? I mean, you need a little bit because if this goes down, you don't want to lose everything, right? So it's okay for there to be, a backup or a little extra step just to make sure that things aren't falling through the cracks, things aren't being entered wrong or something like that. But like just 1 degree of redundancy, I think is plenty. And that's the thing about having to patch together a whole bunch of different systems is, am I re-entering my name 100 times? Am I re-entering my email address over and over again? Do I need, 12 different passwords just to do, one simple task? It's like I can't stand because that feels inefficient to me, and you're really good at that, at making things integrate and making things tell each other, these systems tell each other, hey, this is what we already know. So don't ask Chris that because he'll get pissed off. That's cool.
Exactly. I'm actually the next level of that exact thing is what I'm building right now, and I can't wait to see it rolled out by different people and see how it's used. But it came from me being in the shop, right? Like I'm in the shop, I'm the one doing the measuring, citing, then we're putting it over, then we're writing it in, then I'm putting it into the computer, then we're putting it in QuickBooks. I'm like, how many times do I have to put the same stuff? Like if we just do it one way in the first place digitally, we can press buttons or make the actual movement of the person from beginning to end itself fire off these actions. Now shoot the data over here. When customer pays, you need to sync whatever is info to your QuickBooks. Great, let's create that integration. Create it, test it, run some payments in. Does it say everything? Great. Let's move to the next. What other apps are you doing? When it shoots here, you need it to shoot to this calendar? Great. Your tech is mad because he has to do this or can't find that. Let's make it simple. Let's make it a button on his front. Like tech is where you can just put a bunch of picture phones, just like apps. You can make a little picture squares all on the front of your phones. If they're company phones, they can't say you can't. Go put a bunch of pictures on the front, just like apps, and make each one of them open to the smartest and quickest links in your company. And that's kind of what the master dashboard I built. Talk about fast action. Hey, when someone calls you and asks a question, after the 7th time of someone asking me something, I created a FAQ doc, gave them the thing, and said, here's the FAQs. Next time you call me and ask me, I'm not going to answer. I'm going to say, have you checked the FAQs? And sooner or later, you train everyone else to not call you for the same information about your company that's been applied. They should call you for new problems. You should not be fixing the same problems. Once you're doing the same task multiple times for a customer or yourself fixing the same problems, like you've identified a place to automate and make something efficient, whether it's a button, a press, a dashboard, a knowledge base, something. But that's where I created it and kept modifying it and worked with others to see what's that office person going through hell for? Owner just had a new idea for running ads and now they're on fire. Now they hate the owner more. And now they're being asked, where's that other stuff I need you to work on? It's like, bro, like you didn't just add 2 hours of work on my plate because you want more leads and now they're calling. Who's answering? And when you actually empower them with systems and ways to do their job faster, like they're your front end, man. You empower your front office. They love you. They're answering your customers nice. They can hear the smile through the phone. They're talking to your text nice. They care if that customer needs to be rerouted or rescheduled. You want to know what can destroy a business? A bitter office person. Holy crap. And especially one that's spiteful and doesn't tell you they're unhappy, but they tell everyone else. Man, I've seen them take apart companies before and just really not be good. So systems and improvements and ways to duplicate it. Right now, I'm working on AI bots for everyone. Like you don't know how to use it. Most people don't. If you are using prompts, great. But if you don't know how to use AI, that's where I want to come in and help the people that are naive or middle ground. Put a bunch of tools on ai.followup.glass. They're not customized and fully ready yet, but it's a beta version of what I'm going to be releasing. Little bots with specific tasks that you can go talk to for specific needs. I want to run an audit on my SEO. I want to create a marketing campaign for this season. I want to all these scenarios. Someone is going on maternity leave, and I need to create SOPs. Great. Click this bot that's meant for that, and it's going to ask you all the questions you need. Spit out the SOPs and the training docs, the timeline you need. All these things you would need to know how to talk to the AI to build. I already know what these owners are going to ask and talk about. It's the same questions I would ask and talk during the process. So pre-building these tools so that when you want to cook, you just press cook. You don't have to go learn how to make it, fix the recipe on TikTok and spend 2 hours so you can have a leader. You just work with, you can, as everyone building their own stuff can, or you can just work with me, tell me what buttons you want, and when you press them, you'll get it. And that's kind of what I'm working on. If you go to showerdoorprofessionals.com, the co-op, I put a bot at the bottom of their page. And if you click launch bot, you're able to talk to the chat agent I created just for the co-op. It knows everyone that's in the co-op. It'll give recommendations if you're a homeowner. If you're a vendor looking to work with them, it tells you what you need to do. And if you are a other business looking to join, it directs you with what you need to do. So everyone that lands on your site is already needing some direction, but the ability for me to build these agents that can talk to a customer with all the data within your company and only about your company is what I'm now releasing and now rolling out for the people that want to have it on their side. If you want to have the weapon in your closet, I got you. If you don't like that weapon, you don't have to pick it up because you know you don't have to. But it's exciting. The future is.
I think that's really smart. You're looking ahead because it's like as people continue to use this, they're going to get dumber and dumber, and they're going to need it like even simpler and simpler. How many of you guys have seen Idiocracy? Have you seen that movie? Like this guy goes to the hospital and like the receptionist has his board. It's like a play school toy with a bunch of buttons, and it's like one's got a guy with a knife in his head, one guy's got like an arm that's broken off, and he's like looking for the right button to push. It's like, what is the diagnosis for this guy? And that's kind of, where it's funny how many things. I think that movie was from the 80s or something. It's hilarious. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it.
Yeah, Mike Judge, he created a
Mike
few funny
Judge.
things. It didn't get the credit it deserved, I thought, but it was always a cult classic for me. And over time, you see the elements they represent in the movie of like the dumbest version of America. Ha ha, look at this joke. You actually see how much of it over 15, 20 years, like just has become the norm for us. A lot of the jokey elements they put in is like, holy crap, we're here.
It's a it's a little spooky. But yeah, I mean, because you're going to have to continue to make it easier and easier for people to get the result that they're looking for because they're going to become more and more lazy and not even, it's crazy, it's the information age. We have access to all the information known to man at the push of a button, and people won't even look. I mean, people won't even look stuff up. And you could tell them hey, you know this? Do you know this about? And they're like, that's just a conspiracy theory or whatever. It's like, I mean, if you did a quick search, you would find out there's all kinds of documentation saying that, yeah, this is going on and it has been for like the past 50 years. But I mean, people become it's like too much TMI, right? Too much information. Um, yeah, I, I don't even want to bother to like ask Google to tell me, anymore. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's almost like people were smarter when we had less information. But and there's something to that because I mean you dump a 3,000 page document on a Friday afternoon. It's like, who's going to read that? So you can hide all kinds of stuff in there. because no one's going to read a 3,000 page document. It's insane. But the good news is most of us can't read anyway. So
Rob, I have and I say Rob, but anybody that's actually done this too, like we don't use any sort of advertising or anything like that. And our guy that does our website for us, I talked to him about SEO, trying to drive more business and stuff. What are reasonable expectations if you put enough money into SEO and you have a decent market for it and it's I say it's probably a competitive market. Like what are some reasonable expectations on a reach ROI? Like what kind of volume would you expect to get over 1, 2, 3, 4 months of consistently doing like monthly SEO stuff? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you obviously kind of want to be prepared for it, and it'd be nice to know like what to expect if you did it.
It's it really helps, which most people don't. It helps if you already have analytics on your site and some data on your traffic so they can compare it to. Because sometimes, like a company comes in, they give you the pitch like, hey, it takes a few months for this to work, for these ads to build, for this blah, 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 for this, blah, 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 for the SEO to work. So you have to hire for 4 or 6 months to see a result. Some of that is valid. But you should see some uptick in your metrics. You should see, if you're looking at a report, you should have a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly report when you're meeting with them that shows the metrics of you had a goal of ranking for these keywords. When we Google these keywords, you show up on these page 5, page 7, page 9 for this word, page 10 for this word. You rank number 7 amongst your competitors. Like there should be a starting point of when you work with them and where you rank based on the elements that you hired them for. I want to rank for these. I want to show up on first page isn't specific enough. And if like the better the company you work with that really wants to attack for you, the more that they'll work on what are the positive keywords, what are the negative keywords, what are the elements that of what you want to drive to the site, and then what are your actual past data points. And if you actually have the historical in February to, for this span of 6 months, our traffic naturally went slower because there's a lump in the service, and then we always pick up around spring. So if you were to actually hire a market person around February and not think of that, not look at that, the dip goes down while they're working for you, and then it comes back up. You think, oh, that what they're doing is working. But if you have no historical stuff to compare it to, they just caught you at the seasonal time. And about 3 months in, this is when everyone's getting more business that isn't even running marketing. So if you don't have data, then you don't know, are we actually improving at a higher rate than before? In the other 3 years in that 3 month span, that 6 month span, this is how much we increased when people were broke from buying too much at Christmas and were trying to save up their money January and February. And now it's springtime, checks coming in, budgets are getting rounded out, and they're ready for summer. Like that's kind of where you have your metrics, you have ideal, you should be ranking higher in those reports. You should be hearing, we went from 7 to 5. We went from number 4 with our competitors to 3 for these keywords. There should be some growth in the direction you're looking at, like that period, no matter what economy, what downturn. The best way to know if they're really good is the past data. So you can have the comparison and know, man, they really took advantage of the fact that we're ramping up for this busy season and we have double what we had last season. I really think it's that SEO company that helped us get found more as people naturally started looking for showers more during this season. So sometimes sometimes marketers get a bad name because the people pick them and then the natural season goes down and they say they're not working good. And other times it's the other way around. But you shouldn't be seeing like leads, conversions. SEO doesn't really help with that on the front end. It's more traffic, eyeballs, notoriety, branding. This is where the metrics you need to see. How many people came from these elements of what we're posting out for you? And then it's your job to make it attractive enough and have the nurturing sequence enough to touch points with them. So when they're ready, they hit you up. But yeah, the rankings, reports, where are we at for these keywords? It matters to me. When someone Googles this, that's my ideal customer, making rank higher. And now I'm going to score you every week and grill you on, are we ranking higher for that or not? You should know enough and how to do enough and do competitor analysis to get me ranking higher for that. And if you just stick to one before you go to all, and if they improve on that, then you can focus on the more keywords, the more stuff, because they know what they're doing. But yeah, they weren't lying about the 4 or 5 months. But yeah, that's everyone's pitch, and it's not always, they're not even always doing stuff in those months. So audit your people.
Yeah.
That's another good point, about the whole what are the natural seasonal ebbs and flows, taking that into account. Brilliant, man. Yeah. It's like the voice of someone with experience. These are
Yeah.
some things like I really value about these calls is that I was like, I'm pretty good at, putting in a shower door, selling a shower door, laying one out, measuring, ordering, whatever. I mean, I've got the work part of it down, but it's the business part of it that is the most challenging. For me, that's where I have the most to learn. And it's cool to be able to meet with other guys in the business, got experience doing things that I don't, or more experience doing things, or better results in certain areas. To hear at least how you guys are doing things, and if I can incorporate some of that into my bag of tricks.
I like it. That's the part of the game, I think.
Holy,
What we do is just, I don't know, it's just something we just do. But these things are the fun things. It's the gaming part of it.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I
So I
might
mean,
add, oh, go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to add something to all that too, because we've been doing the marketing thing, and we just had a meeting last week with our web dev guy. He gave me a access to an app called Microsoft Clarity. Again, Rob, you may know what this is. This was new to me. Um, but it gives us all the statistics of our website. So how many viewers to our, or like how much traffic comes to our website on a day or a week or a month, you can toggle through it. So how many and how they get there, whether it's from Google, whether it was an organic lead, and like what type of browser, are they mobile browser, what web browser they come from, how long they're on the page for, how much of the page they scroll, how many pages they click through, the performance of your page, like if they're rage clicking, trying to back out of a certain page. So it's all about the performance of your page. If it's slow running or if it's fast running, if it's mobile friendly, how quick it responds, how long they're on it for. So again, um, it, Rob's right. It's going to take time, and it took us a while to build up traffic. We measure and track everything as far as our web submissions, our form submissions, and stuff, and they go up. But if you're directing them to a website that is no good, or it's not friendly, or just not appealing, they're just going to back out anyway. So I would suggest trying to get the metrics on how much traffic goes to your website every hour, every day, or how long they're on your website for as well. Like, and then even as you start paying for it, like adding, paid traffic or SEO, does that number spike at a certain time of day, or is it spiking? Or are they staying there longer? What pages are they going to? Are they looking at your frameless showers? Are they looking at other residential stuff? See where they're staying the longest or where they're staying the quickest, and then just start tweaking on that sort of stuff too, just to try and keep them there or push them to a contact. Try and push them to a contact page to capture an email, capture a phone number, capture information. And that's how you pull them in, get the traffic, get them on the phone, and then close the lead.
Mhm.
So, I mean, paying for the traffic is great, but it's just traffic until you close it. So that's what I would say would be the next step is optimize your website and check your performance on it before you throw good money on it, and just be sure.
Yeah, clarity and analytics. Google has analytics and Microsoft has clarity. And I think there, of course, there's other tools out there, but those are great ones. Depending if you're already in the Microsoft world, use clarity, and it'll sync better with your stuff. And if you're in the Google world, use analytics. Use both if you want to have both pixels on your page, because there's no harm in that. And having the Facebook pixel on your page helps too. Each one of these trackers on your website is just one more way that if you wanted to run ads, Well, there you already put a code on your site that's going to really help them target the people that visited your website. Same with Google, same with Microsoft and Bing, because Microsoft has Bing's product. So the more you actually want to run ads by putting these codes on your site, you're going to get all this clarity of course, to use the name clarity, you're going to get all this clarity on your traffic and all your sources. You're just going to give you heat maps, all the stuff that he's talking about. But on top of that, if you decide to run ads, that data is going to help you drive down the cost, the per conversion, the cost per eyeball.
See, the smart guy explained it better.
Yeah, he's good at that. Yeah, I was listening to you talk, Ryan, and it made me think about, I think it was Keith Bond when he was on, was talking about that exact thing, that make sure that your website's good. Make
Yeah.
sure your website's good, that like that the information's there and that it works well, because why drive a bunch of traffic to a website that sucks? Get that
Yeah.
get that dialed in first, and then, start. So
That's what I just recently did, So that conversation and that stuff, I actually used that video and showed it to my guy that does our website for us, and it's one of my friends, that I've known for a while, and said, "Hey, we need to work on this," and then I also wanted to get pricing for SEO while I was in there. Like, these are the changes that I want to do to the website and make sure we're doing these things, and then also I wanted to get some SEO pricing. So I was just curious.
it's good stuff, man. It's important stuff, actually.
Yeah. Told him I really want one of those buttons where your thumb is and you can just press the call button.
One of those buttons, man, it just does
Yeah,
what.
one of those buttons for the non-tech people that you can just push while you're scrolling on your car and call me.
Exactly.
My metrics are, does the phone ring more or does it not?
Yep.
Very, very advanced.
Yep. Simple, right? Does the phone ring? Are there qualified customers on the other side? Do they know what I do? Or do they think I do something completely different? They think I, make
Yep.
eyeglasses. Oh, I'm calling you because I'm looking for some eyeglasses. Yeah, not exactly what we do. It's good stuff. Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for showing up on a Thursday. I think this is going to work just fine. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. One day closer to Friday. Oh, man. Good times, good times. Have a great rest of your week, and see you next Thursday.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good
See
night.
ya.
Yeah.